And we got USC this weekend. Thanks for the YouTube chat for that. Big USC card this weekend. I'll be locked in on that 7:30 tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. I'm not sure Dibbs is a big USC fan. Never heard him talk about USC. Willard as well.
I like UFC, but I don't like to pay extra for my content. So,
Gotcha.
and that's, I mean, honestly, that's where I draw the line. So UFC, this card, what is it, $59.99? $69.99.
I think it's 79.
I think it's
They're all like
$79.
$80.
You know what, though? Every time I pay for it, and I'm not the biggest user, I get 4 or 5 hours of content.
But the other content that you think you're watching for free, you're not watching for free. Did you watch Thursday Night Football last night?
Thursday Night Football, I caught some of it, yeah.
Okay.
But again,
Prime, I get you get I understand that.
I pay
but
for Prime, so my diapers come in a day and not.
I hear you. But
that's totally separate.
But you get football from it, but not for free.
But for free. I pay for Prime because I pay for Prime.
I understand
and then they give me the football for free. So if I paid for,
you pay for cable,
that's
so
just
you got to
choosing
pay
to look
for
at it that way.
Fox NFL Sunday CBS. That's
so
good.
Exactly.
This is UFC. What number?
Probably 285.
We don't know.
280?
We don't
it doesn't
know.
matter. I mean,
they're great cards.
I know, but what does matter to me is you've got UFC's. How many? You probably have 2 a month, right? So if I really want to invest in UFC, I'm looking at $79.99 twice a month. That's $160 a month times 12. That's about $2,500 just to watch unmitigated violence. And by the way, I love it because it's violent chess, and I love violent chess, but I can see the highlights or the replays for free a day later.
It's not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same
exactly
because
the same.
watching it live, watching the ring intro, the ring walks and everything, and this is the way I look at it. I used to go to the club, spend about $150, paying for some drinks. Or if you go on a date, it's probably $300 a night. If you're going to a nice dinner, movie, it gets up there. In San Francisco, it gets up there. My thing is like, you know what? $80 a month for something that entertains me. This is fun money. The budget for that.
Plus ESPN Plus, if you pay, because I already pay for ESPN Plus because I have the Hulu Disney package. You get $20 off or whatever when you order.
Right.
For me, it's the communal thing. So my cousin has these big parties, and there's a bunch of guys go over there, and we're watching it all together. There's something about watching a fight, boxing, UFC, with a bunch of dudes, and you're casually paying attention, and then all of a sudden, everyone's leaning forward. I don't know. I love it. I really get into it.
No, it's free.
I'm totally with it.
Yeah,
is Fox NFL Sunday free?
Nope.
CBS.
Waking up costs money.
Even if you show up to like one of those things, like you're bringing beers or you're bringing whatever.
Let's save money. Let's not go out to eat tonight. Well, how'd the food get in your fridge?
Exactly.
Bought it. Yeah.
So I'm in a spot now with a 10-week-old.
I hear you.
I'm going to throw on UFC with my 10-week-old and my beloved Soper. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to watch this guy hammer fist another person. Oh yeah, baby. No, forget Elmo. Forget this book I'm supposed to read you. Let's watch this Brazilian hammer fist this other cat.
Kids will sleep by then. By the time the main event on, the kids will sleep.
Now, by the way, I do love betting UFC and then not watching it. I have a formula for betting UFC. Always bet the Brazilian, first of all.
Well, the Brazilian just lost in Abu Dhabi.
Okay,
Oliveira.
That's a bad beat. You're not going to be 100%. You're not going to go 100% on any system. And by the way, your boy's 4-0 in college basketball. I hope you're following me on Twitter. Your boy is absolutely white hot. Yesterday was the Citadel over Presbyterian.
I'd much rather you ease into this and give it to us in March because I mean...
You don't want wins in November?
I want wins every single month, but you're never going to get me in November to even realize. You could tell me for the next 3 hours that there's college basketball tonight, and I will not realize it.
I'm not going to talk college basketball at all. All I'm going to do is give out one winner, and I'm 4 for 4.
So how did you pick
if
that?
you don't like winning money, then that's a you problem.
What's the algorithm?
I follow
What's
Guru if I want to win money.
How do you pick Citadel? I'm just curious. I want to
Presbyterian, good program.
Okay.
The Citadel, they're a SoCon team, the Southern Conference. Citadel at home -2. That's a no-brainer. The other one we had,
no-brainer.
The one we had yesterday. I'm sorry, the one we had Wednesday was an absolute slam dunk because Ooey Pooey. Indiana University, Purdue University, Indiana. Last year they were a bottom.
Like, what did you just say?
I know.
That's actually good. I've never heard it called that.
That's what they're called.
IUPUI. Yeah,
I do that. I do that during the morning roast every day when I take Penny for a walk.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like, ooey pooey. Let me pick it up.
Ooey Pooey was the bottom 7 team in the country. So Ooey Pooey was getting 26. That's not enough. fade Ooey Pooey.
Ooey Pooey.
So we took Drake. We laid the 26 because Drake is a very good team, one to watch this year.
Okay.
Come March, so Drake won by 32. But
So where do you do your studying? Now, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, what, are you just going online and like researching teams? Are
Yes.
you okay?
Yeah.
That's what I was curious.
a quick research, and this time of year you look for the soft spots, which
Gotcha.
anytime anyone plays Ooey Pooey, they schedule Ooey Pooey for a reason. It's not
So
a
Ooey
random
Pooey is
schedule.
a soft spot?
It's a get right game.
Yes.
You hope.
Yeah, Ooey Pooey. It's with number 3. Ooey Pooey's very soft. You gotta wipe
Pooey.
extra long on Ooey Pooey.
You know, Dibs, if I want to win money, I follow Guru's bets, not yours.
Lay off. And you fade the goo.
And you go the other way.
Hashtag fade the goo.
How's it going? Yeah, you look
Fade
like
to
you got
go,
a new
fade.
sweatshirt right
There you
now.
go. A lot of people out there with new sweatshirts.
That's
A lot of
right.
people out there with nice hoodies. I love you, Goo.
I
His
know,
picks are
Bontemps.
always fun. I think he may have took the Falcons yesterday. We were texting a little bit. He's like, the Falcons,
I
man.
had the Falcons last night too.
We all had the Falcons,
the Carolina Panthers.
you kidding me?
I knew,
well,
you know what, though? I swear, I was like, the Panthers going to win this game. They played so bad last week, and the public's going to fade the Panthers because they played so bad last
and
week.
they played the Falcons just the week before in Atlanta and played very, very well.
Should have won.
Sort of, kind of should have won. Yes, they threw a Hail Mary. Once they did that,
Missed the field
then
goal.
yeah, you missed
Or
that.
extra point.
Well, the penalty, all of that stuff. I mean, both of them. I've watched a good portion of both of those games. Both teams are pathetic. It's just bizarre that the 49ers lost that game. But last night, them falling to 4-6. Go through this exercise, because Dibs and I are going to do this a little bit. Go through this exercise with us here. Find me the team in the NFC that's going to knock the 49ers out of the playoffs. Go ahead.
The only one that I can
dare
think,
you.
Do it.
I think
dare you.
Philly. But again, they have a lot of question
In
marks.
terms
No,
of making
7
the
teams.
playoffs.
7 teams.
Oh, the Niners are making the playoffs. The Niners are making the playoffs.
If I go
Making the playoffs.
Philly, Dallas Giants,
Sure.
Yes.
Minnesota,
Yeah.
whatever dreck comes out of the South,
Yes.
Carolina.
Seattle, and the 49ers.
I'm
Find
with
the
you.
team
I'm
that's
with you.
going to stop the
The
49ers.
Niners,
they're-
the Niners are going to stop
There you go.
themselves.
It's a good
That's
answer.
the answer.
It's a good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
But no,
Good
they're
answer.
going to have to do a lot to
Great
stop
answer.
themselves
Well,
based on
there
the
could be an
Rams
injury.
are
There could be-
done.
Yeah,
Right.
Garoppolo goes down.
Arizona's
they're
done.
Right.
The Arizona, the Rams have
I had
backup
hopes for-
quarterbacks
You've been
doing
saying
this
that
week.
for years.
And you look at the other teams in the NFC. Green Bay is
Purdy.
done. Chicago, miss me with Chicago. They're not
I'm
ready.
with you,
They're
Dibs.
better.
The
They're
Commanders
better.
I like
are
the
an
Chicago
absolute
Bears.
tire fire.
Yes.
And only one team's coming out of the South. So
Yes.
who's the team?
Well,
I
the
agree
Niners' injuries are the only one that's going to derail the Niners from making the playoffs. By the way, Arizona, I was hot on them. And then I watched them lose. The Seattle, I watched their entire game. And you see Kylo yelling at Deion. So they ended up putting on Hard Knocks yesterday for Arizona. I was like, this team's a mess.
I've been trying to tell you.
texting in quarterback meetings. All his phone texting while they're trying to break down
I'm
film.
trying
Kind
to
of like
tell
some
you.
of our sales staff out here in the middle of a Susan Larkin presentation.
Oh, wow. Woo! You said
Yeah,
it,
we
not
were on
me.
the air.
I didn't see that.
missed
You
that.
guys are lucky for that.
Laws
I'm
of
going to leave that
joke.
one alone.
It was
I'm
a
going to leave that one
joke.
alone. Too much
plausible
inside
deniability.
information. But no, Arizona's a mess. So the Niners going to stop. I thought the question you were going to ask, who's going to stop the Niners from going to the Super Bowl? And there's one team, or maybe two, and that's
too early.
Philadelphia and
We're
Dallas.
too early. Yeah, we're too early. We're
Right,
literally
right.
just at the halfway
You guys
point.
already talked about Jimmy coming back next year.
There's
It's never
frost
too
on
early.
the pumpkins.
Yeah.
Come on,
And
we're
hay in the
easing our
barn.
way in.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about the possible route. That's James Taylor. And the walking man.
So good.
We talked about the route
Such
for the
a good
49ers, and we want them to avoid the 4 seed. That way, they don't have to face Philly theoretically in
Yes.
the divisional
Yes,
round.
yes, yes, yes.
If you're the 2 or the 3, more likely the 3. You can go to Minnesota and win, and then
For
you
sure.
take your chances in a 60-minute spot in Philadelphia.
Although whoever that 4 seed is gets a free trip to the next round because they will be on the road in round 1. I'm sorry, if the 5 seed, whoever the 5 seed is, automatically is going to be on the road against Tampa or Atlanta or Carolina or whatever junk. Do you realize if Seattle?
That's the 2 seed. Will
If
be on
Se-
the road at the fill in the blank trash.
No.
Oh, no, you're right.
I'm
They
talking
get
about
a
game
home- they get the
1.
4, you're
They're
right,
going to
the
be. They're
4-5,
going to
yeah.
host the 5
Man,
seed.
which is, by the way, is a joke.
Yeah.
Which they need to fix. But
I mean, right
They
now,
won't.
most people would think that it's going to be Dallas, like
Yeah.
Dallas at Carolina, week 1 of the playoffs, something like that. I mean, Carolina. If Seattle beats Tampa Bay in Germany, Carolina is
a great
one
game.
game out of the division lead. One game out of leading the division. The Panthers, who sold all their players.
And fired their coach.
I do, like, I was worried about the 17-game schedule, and then they added the 7th game. The 7th team in each conference. And I was like, I like the old way of 2 teams, because of the regular season, both get the bye. One doesn't feel sufficient enough for me. Like, only one team getting the bye. I just feel like we're devaluing the regular season to a degree, and then we're adding that other team in, and I get it. You're keeping more markets available. I like the perfection of the 16-game schedule, the 2 teams making the... I don't know. There was some symmetry there for me.
But it's perfection because it's when you grew up. It used to be a 14-game schedule, and there were probably sports radio hosts sitting around going, 16, this has ruined everything.
There was no sports
because of the 16.
That's true.
They had
letters to the editor.
You knew every 4 years you were going to play the Cowboys. Every 8 years you'd have them at home.
I hear you. I hear you. I guess I put it this way. I kind of dig the chase for being the 1 seed. Like that. Okay. That's cool. That's a cool regular season crown to be the only team that gets a bye, and in theory leaves open for if it is week 18 and you've got your division wrapped up, you may still play football because there might be another team that's 1 game behind you for that 1 seed. Like, there's something to be said for you get something for being the regular season champ of your conference. So I kind of dig that. And as we've talked about before, more sports and more teams is just, it's not a fight I'm going to take on because it's not going to go that way.
And within 5 years, you're going to get to 18 games.
20-game schedule.
You're going to get to 18 and 8.
You're right.
Yep. And then you're going to get to 34 teams before you get to 36. But
so you think 4 in Europe?
I think probably 2 to start.
Oh,
just to
I hope
see.
not. I hope that doesn't happen.
No, 2 for sure.
Because you're going to go there. What they said is they'll have a Florida base for the teams coming to America, and then when you go over there, you'd stay. Like, let's say the Niners go out there. Yeah. You'd have 2 road games or whatever in a row, bang bang, and you'd have a facility that you'd be staying at. That would be the third party.
I hate that.
You're going to get 2 in Europe. You're going to get 1 in Mexico City, and then maybe you throw 1 in Canada. Can you imagine a Toronto Buffalo? I mean, that's what's going to be off the hook. Toronto.
I'll live with Toronto.
So you're fine with Canada?
I'll live with Toronto's a great city.
Mexico's awesome. I love Mexico.
I was lucky enough to go to Toronto a few years ago. Toronto's a great city.
Also in Mexico, when you're on the beach,
tacos.
They love football. When you're on the beach, they'll sell you all kinds of Niner Cowboy stuff.
What gets me about these international games, and you could try it, Sunday, wake up 6:30, check out Tom Brady.
I love that game.
I do too, but if you notice, it's a weird sound. I'm always watching the
Wembley
game.
Stadium?
Well, just wherever. They're in Germany this time.
Yeah.
You're watching the game. I'm like, do these people understand what's happening?
Yeah.
They even know. They cheer at weird times. And then, of course, there's also we traveled here. Like, there is the fan base, right? Tampa fans will travel out there. But there's just no, I don't know. I like sports where there's a home field advantage.
That's why I
like a home field advantage.
I don't want kickers more than we do.
How many players are going to hold out? How many players are going to hold out if they get drafted to a team based in Europe? They're like, I don't want to play there.
Or free agent
family's out there, free agent. Who's going to want to sign with the London Stallions or whatever name?
People with no other options.
Well, this is what I would say. If the money, and because you're going to have more televisions over there now buying in, now you're going to have more money. If you're paying guys $100 million a year, we're not there yet, but that's the hope, is to build the revenue pie.
I do think there is the chance, if and when they do this, that you're building teams that are at a competitive disadvantage. I think about this like the Colorado Rockies, for example. I know the Rockies went to a World Series one time, but there's a reason the Rockies always stink.
Pitching.
Well, no, it's the team that can win in that ballpark can't win everywhere else. That's the way I've always looked at that team. Pitching doesn't matter; everybody stinks there.
Well, no, but that was my thing. Is like they've never had enough sustainable pitching
the
to
kind
get
of
through
team,
a year.
right? Like I'm Dante Bichette. I can hit 30 home runs in this ballpark, but I'm going to strike out every time I'm on the road at St. Louis, and I don't have a gargantuan outfield that I can drop bloopers into. So it's like if you're going to be good in Denver, you're going to be bad everywhere else. And I wonder if there's kind of a competitive issue with London teams or wherever they go.
Yeah, I'm so out on that.
Yeah,
so out on that.
What are the early returns on Vegas? Because I think for a long time there was a lot of pearl clutching on Vegas. The players are going to be.
Oh, as far as the NFL?
Yeah, the gambling. Oh, there's so much nightlife trouble.
I mean,
they have
the
had
car accidents.
I was going to say they've had a few incidents.
Yeah,
they've had a few.
Yeah.
How do you think? I mean, financially, it's working out for the NFL. They could care less.
They did a good job with the stadium. That market
stadium does look sick.
Yeah, the stadium
does look sick.
I'm trying to go. I'm trying to be there on New Year's Day. But anyway,
sell your firstborn.
Oh man, I'm trying. I'm calling everybody who's ever met anybody. But anyway, the stadium stadium looks like it's really good. Obviously, hockey sort of like paved the way as far as how they're going to do pro sports there. I know the NBA is going to be there. LeBron's going to own the team. That's going to be something in the future. So I don't know. For all the fears and now gambling being so much more part of the league than it used to be, I think it's gone about as well as they could have hoped. Yeah. Don't you think?
Yeah. What about the trip to Linden? Did that go as well as you guys hoped? Yesterday at the Linden Lions
Club. I thought you said the trip to London. Linden. So here's one thing. Now that we're back in the friendly confines of our studio.
We just left, by the way, moments ago. Yeah. We just left to go home.
Lions Club in Linden.
Pretty sweet. It was fat.
We had a great time, and the people out there were fantastic. But I will share with everybody that, we sent Kyle out on the street, and he went out there, and he's looking for people, and he found an orchard and all this stuff. But if you were listening to the show and you were wondering why, like, locals from Linden didn't come on, we absolutely were trying. And
we talked to each and every one of them.
The Judge family.
Fact.
The Judge family is such a big deal out there.
Uh-huh.
And they are a very private family, we've been told. That whole city's like, no. We don't talk about the Judges.
It's called Lockton, not Linden.
We don't talk about the Judges.
What's the population?
1,700.
Yeah. The sign said 1,700.
Well, and
I figure a few more people have moved there now. Now that we've publicized it.
It's seriously though. We talked to Mark and I individually or collectively. We talked to probably 100 different Lindonians, or Lindenites, or I'm not sure what they even were.
Back in the days of the Boulevard.
And there was a
lot.
Linden. Yeah, thank you. That was on my Twitter. People were shouting out Steve Biko and the great Tribe Called Quest song.
Nice.
But every person, to a man, to a woman, to a non-binary resident. We don't want to talk about Aaron Judge. We're very private. We don't want to, like Mark is saying, we don't want to cross, the Judge family, which I totally get. I respect it.
Yeah.
What do we think today? I mean, it's obviously free agency's it's starting, Do you guys really think that he's coming to the Giants? Like, what do you think, Dibbs? Because you're probably the most skeptical, right?
Yeah, I think that he's coming to the Giants.
You do?
I do. I think that when he takes a hard look at his situation, and I know that his big speech yesterday when he was accepting the Hank Aaron Award,
I saw that.
He thanked his teammates 6 different times. My teammates. I think when he steps away from the limelight, the accolades, the awards, and talks to his family. His wife is from there. He's from Linden. The family is there. Mark and I talked about the idea of him wanting to live out his childhood dream of being a Giant. And if you want to raise a family, you would want to raise it around grandma and grandpa. So I think that when he and his family take a hard look at the situation, this is the time for him to come home to the Giants. He can't do it any other time.
Yeah.
If he signs for 7 years in New York,
he's there.
You're in New York until you're not going to come home at 38 or 39.
This is probably
and
it.
Be a Giant.
Yeah, this contract,
this
wherever he goes,
chance.
is probably where he's going to finish his career.
So I think that when he takes a hard look at everything in totality, he realizes money's the same, and I want to go home.
The Yankees losing a guy.
I know.
That's crazy.
So here's how I would say it. The answer is obviously I don't know, and I don't even know that I'd call myself optimistic. But here's what I have sort of gathered.
Okay.
By talking to a lot of people and just
spending time in Linden.
I think the Giants think they can get him, and I think the Yankees think he might leave. That's what I think is being. So I still, and I said this 100 times yesterday, if you made me put one chip in the circle of one team, I still would
Gun
put
to
it.
your head. We love this.
I'd put it in the circle of the Yankees. I would. Okay. But, and I know you guys know this to a certain level. I know you've had conversations. The Giants right now feel good. And the Yankees, from what I hear out there, their media, their people, their conversations. Now, Alex Pavlovich spoke directly to Brian Cashman, and he told us 2 days ago, he said Brian sounded, quote, cautiously optimistic. But inside, there's plenty of smoke around. The Yankees are very nervous, and they think he's going to the Giants. And the Giants look and sound very quietly Cheshire Cat. But that doesn't,
How long is this going to take? Because remember, Harper was what, February, right before pitchers and catchers?
This is at least a month,
You think a month?
I think it's at least a month.
So, will the Giants have to sign other guys who entice?
Well, you got to do that. You got to do that anyway.
I mean, they already did. Jock Peterson.
Oh, my God.
We'll see.
If Aaron Judge isn't on his way out here now after that, then I don't even know
he's
what
got to
he's doing.
accept it.
Explain to me this qualifying offer.
Why is it a joke? Why you guys don't like that?
No, $19 million for a player who's going to be
for 1 year. Who cares?
He's a platoon player.
No, but
$20 million.
First of all, again, right now their payroll, especially with Longo now being out, their payroll's below the Pirates. $19 million. Who cares?
It's
does nothing.
No,
does nothing to their payroll at all.
It doesn't.
I
get
don't really
it.
care about the payroll.
82 million committed right now to the payroll as of today. $28 million for the next year in 2024. I get all that, but Jock. For 20,
and I would have set
I would rather go out and
you
explore.
Could get for 11 or 12.
No, but it's a QO. You're going to get if he leaves, you get a pick. That's who cares?
I know.
It's not going to change your nacho prices.
No, I don't mean that.
Do you want him on the team or
not for $19 million? I want him for 11 or 12.
Yeah, I don't think that has any effect on anyone.
I'm always looking at it because I'm trying to get Rodon to come back and I'm trying to do all of these things. But
$8 million doesn't that doesn't even they don't even blink.
But why would I set the market on someone who I believe I can get for half the price?
I don't think QO set the market. Brandon Belt played for that last year. Who cares?
And he's
right.
You come out and say we're looking to get everyday players, and then you sign a guy who's not an everyday player. That's why
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
that's fair. And by the way, don't make it sound like it's done. He has to say yes.
I know.
He's not on the team yet.
Why would he say no? I mean, is he going to go out there and get 4 years and $80 million somewhere?
Not 4 and 80, but
is he going to get 2 and 25? Is he going to get 2 and 30?
He could get a 3-year deal.
I don't know.
He could
get 60.
He get a 3. Well, it doesn't matter if he get a 3-year deal for 40. Some guys might take that over 19.
Over 1 in 19.
By the way, Jock. Yeah, I don't know if you know Jock's family said he doesn't need money. He doesn't care. He's just gonna be about where he wants to be.
No, but money is money. These guys, money is every penny. Exactly, it's about money, power, and respect, as we all know.
He might say yes. He might say yes, and I mean, Jock can be on the team next year.
Well, what are we thinking about Longoria here? I mean, that was the most obvious thing, right?
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you're ready to say bye?
Oh no, he's gone.
You think he's gone?
I think I like if you look at what Farhan said about it, it wasn't we'd like to explore a different price. His comment on it was literally, we have VR, we have Casey Schmidt coming.
You're taking it literal.
Yeah.
No, he literally named like 4 other third
No, he said that. That was a quote. That wasn't
me.
me.
Kid flying through the system
Casey Schmidt,
really changed because you heard some of the narrative in the final 2 months. It was like, hey, maybe Longo. And then the kid went from like the 7th or 8th best prospect.
Yeah.
Is it Casey Schmidt, Mark? Is that his name?
Yeah.
And what is he? 2, 3, 1? What is he at right now?
I think he's 3 or 4.
Okay.
He
flew up.
He's behind Harrison and he's behind Matos.
What number prospect? He's not one of the. He's not one of the top 3. But
he's right
whatever
there.
He is, he's projecting as an everyday player and projecting is especially like Longo. What you really lose from him right now is defense.
Yeah.
This kid Schmidt is supposed to.
Longo was a great defender.
He's got a glove. Yeah. He's got a glove.
Trey Turner. What about other free agents? Jose Abreu. Brandon Belt is Brandon Belt coming back?
No, I don't think Belt's coming back.
You don't think he is?
So what do you do at first base?
He might retire. I don't know. I love the Rizzo idea. I'm not
mad at the Rizzo idea.
I love the Rizzo.
I kind of like the Rizzo idea.
Judge, I think.
Yeah,
if Rizzo and Judge are as close as all the reports are. You sign Rizzo early and you say, "Look, Aaron, we got your bestie."
I'm not mad at Rizzo. I could roll with Rizzo. What about Jose Abreu?
He'd be great, but
he's older than Rizzo.
He's older,
He's
but he's
2
still
or 3 years older.
It feels like he's still more productive than Rizzo. Hits for average, hits for power.
He was in a stacked lineup too, though. I mean, they had Eloy, him, Tim Anderson.
They built that lineup around Abreu.
Agreed. But he's what is he? 37. I like him as a player, though.
Jose Abreu's 35.
Okay. Then there you go. I overrated it by 2 years.
Jose Abreu's 35.
And what's Rizzo, 33?
34, I thought, Rizzo. But
Anthony
these
Rizzo
old guys.
is 33.
Seriously,
33.
It's a lot of old guys.
Just turned 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the young people.
I'd rather do
Spadone.
Rizzo for a couple reasons. Anybody who says that the clubhouse missed Buster Posey, you need a Rizzo type.
That's a really good point.
They don't have that clubhouse leader. And Rizzo would be that, and he would put balls in the bay.
Yeah.
And by the way, phenomenal defensive first baseman too. I know
he's very good.
The Giants are very, very focused on the moves they're making, fitting defensively too, which is another reason I guess the Jock thing's a little bit of a surprise. But I know they'll DH him a lot if against righties.
So that brings you back to shortstop, though. What do you do at shortstop with your once great Gold Glove shortstop who's no longer the same shortstop?
Something will be different up the middle of the infield. I don't know what.
You know what?
I don't know what.
I listened to them talking about Crawford, taking so much pride in playing shortstop, and I got, they're going to ask somebody in free agency to move positions, right, for 1 year.
Well, temporarily. I mean, I don't look, we bring up Trey Turner a lot, and Trey, the word on him was that he wants to go back east.
To the Phillies.
Like, he even talked about that, or the Cubs. I hear the Cubs a lot. But, could you wow him? And would he be triggered at the idea of playing center field? Like, he can play center field.
I'd be open to that.
Yeah. Trey Turner can play center field. And by the way, that doesn't mess with his money.
No.
And
there's enough games to play shortstop.
Shortstop the following year. You know what I mean? So
I wouldn't be mad at
I don't know.
that. Wow.
What about the Warriors tonight? Cavaliers coming in on a 2-game losing streak. The Sacramento Kings again Sunday. Sneaky big weekend for the Golden State Warriors. Starting tonight at Chase Center.
They're all going to be big. And, Bonte, I've been in on the Cavaliers all year. Don't sleep on my Cavaliers, okay? And if you wouldn't mind padding for a little bit while I bring up the roster again. There's
Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Cedi Osman, Dean Wade, Donovan Mitchell, Garland, JB Bickerstaff, Luke Walton, assistant coach.
No bigger fan of the Cavs.
Austin Carr on the broadcast.
When Donovan Mitchell's the fourth guy you name, that's a league pass person right there.
My roster came up alphabetically.
It's just flexing. League pass is great, man.
He called me out on Monday because I did my whole thing on the Cavs, and after like 2 or 3 minutes, he looked at me. He's like, "You trolling me, Dibs? You trolling me?" I had to apologize after the changeover because he's right. I was trolling him, but I've done my homework.
I'm talking about League Pass.
I've
League
done
Pass
my
is
homework
lit
now, and the Cavs are legit.
And you know what? I'll make Guru come down your road because he's a big League Pass guy too.
Yeah.
I saw a thread yesterday saying, "Is Antonio Daniels the best color analyst?" And I was like, "League Pass, baby."
How else is he going to watch his Lakers?
Wow.
Yeah.
I think he'll be at the game Sunday and Golden One when the Warriors take on the Kings Sunday and Golden One, and they're going to be looking for revenge because they feel like they got shafted by the referees Monday night.
They constantly get shafted. And, we're going to talk a little bit about that on our show, about the idea in the association of, not only do the stars get the calls, but the good teams also get the calls, and it's a shame.
Well, it's interesting because the Kings, and Kevin Herter spoke about it publicly, they're not calling it that dynamic where it's like, oh, sure, the Warriors, the Celtics, the Lakers, they get the calls. And the little teams, Charlotte, whatever, they don't. They're literally saying this is about the Kings. They are making the point that the Kings specifically get a different whistle than the rest of the league. And Kevin Herter, who just came to the Kings, is like, look, it's been 7 games. And there's only one night where I didn't feel that way, and we were playing
Mike
Charlotte.
Brown keeps saying it sucks being a Sacramento King.
And this is from somebody who was on the Warriors bench a number of months ago. So it's like, you got to listen to that.
Which I do listen to. Herter also played with a guy who's one of the darlings of the league and gets a zillion calls that I don't agree with. And Trey Young gets so many calls. Lowry's the same way. I watch Lowry. He's just bowling into people. He drives me nuts to watch.
Well, sometimes this is why it's interesting that Steph doesn't seem to fall in this bucket. Like Trey Young, when you're little, when you're a star and you're little, you get bounced around in the NBA, so it looks like you got fouled constantly. Like think back to Shaq. Shaq would complain about the whistle because people would fly off of him just by being around him.
Did you guys hear LeBron?
I didn't do anything.
You heard LeBron the other day said, I guess I'm going to have to do some more flopping. 4 free throws. I swear. With a straight face. With the straight face after they lost to the Clippers.
Is there anything in the world that's a bigger mess? I mean, politics or the Lakers right now? What's a bigger mess?
It's still politics. It's gotten closer. Twitter's gotten
politics
closer.
-2.5.
Twitter's over.
Twitter's done. Better get on, what's this site name I just signed up for? That basically
Matador or whatever.
Mastodon. Yeah, Mastodon.
How many followers you got? How many followers you got?
I've got 15 followers. I'm following 7. 3 posts, baby.
It's a good ratio.
At Bonte Hill at sfba.social. Mastodon.
Yeah, that'll be easy to find.
Yeah.
Seriously, .org. Totally.
Twitter goes, I'm done. I'm not going to tweet much on Mastodon. Or whatever you call it on Mastodon. I'm not going to be active. Done.
You're
Bye-bye,
gonna be
Twitter.
all over Macedon.
Bye-bye, Twitter. I've had enough.
You're going to be the Don
I've
of
had enough.
Macedon.
I've had enough.
This league pass game is incredible, Mastodon.
Well,
fan.
you know, it's like I'm cooking these random dudes on Twitter, and the boss man, you're bigger than that. Don't tweet at these guys. It's not good for the brand. I'm like, man, if I can't do that on Twitter, then what the hell is
This
the
is
point?
from the same guy,
Right.
Matt Hegan. If you're a Niner fan, follow me. I'll follow back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway,
Real quick before you guys go
Yes.
on that shortstop thing you were asking about, I didn't see this quote till just now from Farhan yesterday. Quote, I don't think anything is going to restrict us from pursuing guys who traditionally have been shortstops.
Well, that's good because I had read some other stuff from some of the beat writers. The interpretation was like, "Oh, Craw's going to stay there," and I was like,
well,
figure it
a
out.
lot of Giants fans,
Everybody
including
needs to be flexible.
They're
That's my
not-
point.
they're
a lot
not-
of Giants fans, including Larry Krueger, just wants Farhan to be about that action.
Well, and they have to
less
be.
talk.
That
They have
action,
to be.
boss.
They have to be. Yeah.
Go.
Crawford's played a grand total of 0 innings anywhere other than shortstop in his career.
I get the pride. I
Yeah.
get it, but come on, man.
It's time. It's time. All right, Willard Dish coming up. Brought to you by Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises.